Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I usually save these for Gamers Den, but as the world gets closer and closer into where computers basically run the world, and I know that various industries are using AIs to predict analytics in the future that can get way higher accuracy in projects and various profiling details than human beings can without quote-unquote bias, etc. As we reach that golden age where we're basically run by computers, even though we're technically there and they won't tell us, things like this start to happen. As you know, or as you might know, or your kids might know, Wii U, the 2014 new Nintendo, whatever you want to call it, had a Mario Maker where you could make Mario levels. And Nintendo keeps deleting Mario Maker levels that they upload to their server. And now they won't tell them why. The reason I'm putting this on America 2.0, ladies and gentlemen, and probably go up on Gamers Den as well, is because this is just another kind of coin in the bucket or drop in the bucket for censorship on the internet. And I know people, well, I don't know people, but I've seen it online and stuff, where people are, scripting in the background and, they're putting people's PayPal information in, and it's all over the internet for, what this is and what this isn't. So anybody that might be coding characters, when they do something to steal, credit card information on their server or whatever in the hell, I'm certain the technology exists to do that, but I haven't been asked to do anything like that for law enforcement as far as, to crack down on that, but I'm certain if you can upload it to the internet, folks, I guarantee you there's a way to do shady shit. Anyway, and Nintendo is basically deleting people's uploaded, well, I wouldn't call them necessarily private properties, but definitely would fall in the realm of General Commons and various other sources thereof, but it would technically be copyright. So I'm actually very unhappy about this. And what I'm actually hearing is that Nintendo is still deleting levels of Super Mario Maker online community for mysterious reasons. Baked Horizon Mario Maker, creator and father of a designer in training daughter, posted a distressing story on Reddit today, or at least when this story came out. His daughter spent 3 hours putting together a level called Mario Cake Yoshi, after receiving a notification that another player had beaten and recommended the level by awarding a star, or it a star. They went to check it out, but out of nowhere, the stage was suddenly gone, reportedly removed after less than an hour. I know this has been posted before, he wrote, but I'm very angry. I've been unable to talk with the person personally about the incident, but this lines up the previous action by Nintendo in regards to Mario Maker. I last reported this to Nintendo's policies in January after Kotaku reader pointed out how Mario Maker levels were disappearing from the server or service without any explanation. I say policy because it's always been painfully unclear why Nintendo decides to take some stages down but not others. And it goes on. And basically, they're not giving a whole list of reasons. It's not like she put, sexual innuendos in it or anything else. Best of my knowledge, at least. It's not like, anything was being done one way or another. Best of my knowledge, at least. They give a whole bunch of names of people, and they have several people reference, at least screen names reference to these incidences. And I think basically what happens is somebody reports it so they can change it up They have the original one probably deleted. They downloaded the level somehow, and they probably make it their own at some point. I've had that done as early as Novologic's Joint Operations, when I had, which was an online army game where you had, U.S. Special Forces guys and rebels and stuff like that. And I had made various castles and entire bases online where you could attack from, tunnel systems and various cool maps. And I had one or two of them stolen pretty much the same way, so I imagine the same policy that was never fixed back then involving Novologic and their server is still open and being done using Nintendo and back channels thereof. So, while we'll never find out what actually happened, it's always good to tell your kids, if they're going to be putting hours into this, go ahead and save the copy and just upload on 2-3 different names and be done with it. Whether it's the level names or something else. Because this is kind of hard, disheartening, especially for a big company like Nintendo. I know Nintendo kind of hit a rough patch the last couple of years, but for these kids and even the adults nowadays, there are guys in college who, use these programs and stuff to model different things for their employers and this and that. I know it's not as common, but usually for like colleges and stuff like that, it's a little more common. So for them just to basically kick out the level without saying why, I don't know, guys. But this is Censorship 101. So that's why I wanted to put it on America 2.0. It might end up in Gamers Den, might end up at Gamers Den, it might end up, not on America 2.0. We'll just watch where it falls. Thank you.